Coach, you with me?
I'm with you. Can you hear me?
Oh, hang on. I think it's still on my headphones.
Did you get your run in?
All right, now I'm with you. My audio was linked to my headphones.
There you go.
Run was good. I got it in before the rain. I got about 2 miles in about, I don't know, under 16 minutes. So it felt good.
Oh, it poured down here right after you hung up. Lightning. It was wicked.
Oh, it's going here now. So
our soccer coach is going to run in a marathon. He's from England. He's going to go back and run in a marathon in England, in London. He said, my old teammates are going to think I've lost my marbles.
How's my background noise? We have the dishwasher running. Can you hear that?
I don't hear anything.
Okay, cool.
I just hear the rain on my my roof, but other than that.
Here's my co-host, Jeff, coming in here, buddy of mine. Coach is down in Florida at a prep school, but he's back in Fort Wayne now. But
How's it going?
It's good.
Oh, man. Nice rainy day.
Yup. How's the song go? It don't rain in Indianapolis in the summertime. Right.
You probably got to tell us what song it is.
Yeah. I don't, Glenn Campbell, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a big music guy anyway.
When the time hits 3, I got like just a little promotional thing for the website to read, and then I'm gonna actually talk about how you're the first Coach K I ever knew. So I mean, I think I was there at camp from like 2002 or 2002. I think.
Wow.
I think I was like 6th, 7th, and 8th grade or something.
I'm so sad we don't have camp this summer, and I've been a part of camp forever. Seems 1968 was the first year. Coach Cameron got it started.
But first, one of the first questions I will ask you is kind of like, I mean, I was telling Jeff, I was like, I don't know if anyone has seen more basketball like in the area, in the landscape change over 4 decades. I mean, so it'd be great to get some perspective on like, how you've seen it change or grow or stuff like that.
Sure. A lot of basketball. Some classic old gyms around. The old Northside gym was a classic.
Yeah, I like that one.
It was the Zoller Pistons played there.
Yeah.
Some venues like the Wigwam is no more down at Anderson. That was another classic one. It was packed and lots going on. The old Wigwam. It's closed now.
You guys got a great place up there.
We're very blessed. Yeah, we are. It's a terrific place to play. Not a bad seat in the house.
Jeff, you ever been there? Up to Grace?
I was going to. I was talking to a girl that played on the women's team, and we never went through with plans.
It's a terrific place to play.
I like what women's coach, what's his name now?
Dan Davis.
Yeah, I like what he's got going on.
Yeah, he's enthusiastic to say the least. He's that way every day. He's wired every day. In practice, he's wired.
I saw him, because I was helping out Coach Biggs at Indiana Tech, and I went up to watch. They played an early season might have been an exhibition against somebody, and they were flying around like it was fun to watch.
Yeah, that's his style. He flies around. Good guy. Coach Moore, Scott Moore took my job, and in fact, he knows you.
Yeah.
He was coach of the year in our league first year. That's pretty cool. Did a great job.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's fun to pass on your job to your son, so to speak. It makes it really special.
How has interested to know the history of like conference play? Like Crossroads always been. So I know you also compete like the Christian or the other league as well, but like has it always been Crossroads League, I guess?
No, it was the Mid Central Conference. Initially, it started. Oh man, must have been like 61 or 2, something like that. And Grace was one of the original members. Must have been a little after that. It was about that. It was Huntington and Tri-State, which is now Trine, Indiana Tech, Concordia, which was a senior college at that time. It's out the present Concordia campus, but it was just juniors and seniors. I forget how many members. Huntington was in it. Marion at that time, Mary-On, we called them, O-N, and Mary-Ann, which is now Marion. And Mary-On was Indiana Wesleyan at that time. So it's been a long-standing conference.
Awesome.
We were NAIA from the very beginning.
Okay. Isn't everything supposed to be going to one division? Or
next year, it's one
okay?
division. Mm-hmm.
No.
Combined again. It was in '92. That was the year that we won it. It split to 2 divisions, and it's been 1 division since. Well, it's been 2 divisions since. It's going back to 1 division. The original games were played at Municipal Auditorium in Kansas City, which is where actually the NAIA was the first national tournament ever held. 1937, the NCAA didn't begin their tournament until 1938, and there were only 8 teams in that. Oregon won it that year. The NAIA has always been 32 teams. There was kind of a running debate between James Naismith and Fog Allen. And Naismith. Yeah, Allen. And Naismith thought they ought to limit the number of dribbles to 3, and Allen thought they should have unlimited dribbling. And so they kind of had a parting of ways. The NAIA went ahead and hosted their tournament. The NCAA hosted theirs a year later. Here's another little interesting tidbit. It was 1947 that the NAIA invited John Wooden and his team from Indiana State to join the national tournament. And he was going to go, and they sent him a letter and said, "You're welcome to come, but you can't bring your black player." So, well, we're not coming. So the next year, 1948, was the first year that there were black players in any national tournament. The NCAA hadn't added black players yet. Think of what the game would look like today without black players. It'd be pretty boring, wouldn't it?
It'd
be pretty boring.
Listening to a podcast with Neil deGrasse Tyson about like sports genetics and stuff like that. So but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take the video off, and I'll be right back after I do this read.
You're good.
Welcome everyone to the Northeast Indiana Basketball Summit. I'm your host, Ben Smith, joined by my co-host, Jeff Metzger. Before introducing our guest, we want to thank Feel for the Game for providing the platform to have all these presentations live and available for replay. You can check out all the resources over at feelforthegame.com. Our guest today, it's a real pleasure for me to introduce Coach Jim Kessler, currently retired, of course, but still involved with the game. He's was reading about Coach. He said it's not about the journey, of course, or it's not about it's about the journey, not the end result. So it's a lifelong journey as well. So we've got 40 plus years of experience in this area. It's very, very valuable for us. So, Coach, can you kind of talk about, what you've seen change over the past 4 decades in the area?
I first came to Central Indiana to be a player back in 1967, and I'm from Missouri originally, so this was a new experience. One of my first things was to go down and watch the games played down in the Butler Fieldhouse. So that was a real experience for me. Around here, having coached with Chet, I played for Chet Kammer through the years, and he went on, and I came back here in 1975 to work at Grace. The game is been immensely popular in this part of Indiana. You know, you couldn't go to some of the old warrior places like Anderson. The Wigwam was packed with the Wigwam and the Dancing Chief and all that went on. The Northside Gym there in Fort Wayne was a classic. It's been some great basketball played. And of course, Warsaw's had great tradition. And girls basketball, it was the first state champion. And it's been really fun to watch kids grow. Our basketball camp has been kind of a venue that kids grew up in. So a lot of the kids around here have been kids that I've gotten to know. And it's been really fun to watch the changes take place. Great games, part of Indiana. Coach Wooden, of course, popularized that, but the game actually came to Southern Indiana directly from Dr. Naismith. Some guys were grad students out at Springfield, Mass. At the YMCA, brought it back to Bloomington, and the game kind of grew out of Southern Indiana. It's been a staple through the years.
Well, today we're going to talk about developing and utilizing the big man. You have to believe. Tell us why you think that's so important.
I think the big man or the post player is it's almost a lost skill. I was watching a video here not long ago of the history of the jump shot. You know, it was developed by a guy named Sailors from Wyoming, and he popularized it and won several national titles. And at that time, everybody was a post player. They all shot the hook shots, and they all played in the post. It's kind of become a lost art, and I don't think coaches teach it quite as much as they did at one time. I think some of the great jump shooters have come about that kind of changed that, especially in the NBA. Ball screens, that was an old thing, but it used to be called block and roll. Now it's block and pick and pop and get out of my way so I can drive. I think a little of it. And that's great if you got great, if you got great shooters like James Harden and Stephon Curry, but most high schools don't have that. And so we need a little better balance. So I think teaching post play is it's really important. It needs to be done more and more. And we're missing part of the game when that happens, I think. Young players need to be taught how, and I'll speak to it later today. I don't think it's just that players need a bunch of post moves. It's a complete factor. You need to teach them how to pass, how to present themselves to the ball, and I'll speak to that here in our session a little bit later.
Awesome. Are you sharing your screen, Coach?
I think so, but I'm not seeing anything, just my screen. How do I do this here? Sorry.
Let me see. There.
There I am. I see me.
I see you. Let me see.
I have a PowerPoint up. So
the PowerPoint is up. Let me.
On my screen it is, yeah.
Okay. Learn this on the fly. Let me cancel it. There, try it. Maybe you can try it now. I'm not sure.
Okay. Share screen. Is that what I need to do?
I believe so.
Share. How's that?
There we go.
There we go. Okay. doing these via the computer is a new experience for me.
All right, it's new for all of us. So, like I said, this is something I need to get better at. I want to learn video and everything. So, yeah.
It's been fun to watch our basketball camp grow over the years. Coach Kammer began it in 1968. And since then, there was a time when we ran 7 weeks of camp. That's a lot of kids. I've calculated up. I think I've lived in the dormitory almost 2 years by staying there when camp's on. And how many kids are come through the camp, I have no idea. Our goal is always to teach kids how to play. And it's been a fundamentals camp, but we didn't do much other than play basketball and teach them how to play. And it's kind of sad. This year's the first year we're not going to have camp.
I know when I was at camp, the one-on-one little bracket and everything was like always my favorite. Trying to work up the grid.
Yep.
Stuff. Yeah.
It's a big ladder tournament, and it went on all week long.
Just challenge people that you could next to your square.
Yep. Two in any direction. We played 3-on-3 that way too. I think between 1-on-1, 3-on-3, you could teach just about everything you need to know about the game.
Yeah. Are you all set up over there?
I'm ready when you are, I think.
You're good to go. Go
Okay.
right ahead.
I'll just kind of preface that again to say that the PowerPoint here, I think post play is kind of a lost skill. I think part of it is that coaches don't teach it well, probably because they weren't taught to play in the post, and yet it's an important part of the game. I think to actually teach post play, it's more than just getting a video of, I saw one, the guy was teaching 13 post moves, and I thought, 13 post moves, do you really need that many? And I'll speak later. I think you just need 3 or at least some go-to moves that you get. But it's more than just the post player learning how to play. It's getting open. How does a post player get open? We'll show some things here today. You need to present, I think, how you present yourself to the passer. You need to talk about scoring moves, which is, I think, probably the easiest thing to learn and to teach. And then you have to figure out how to make those post moves work. For most teams, I still think that the post shot or post play is a high percentage shot. It's really a 2 is still a better option than a 3 or 19-9 shot by somebody that really doesn't know how to shoot it. And so I think you need balance is what we need. And I think can result, the post play results, you can get into the free throw line. It involves offensive rebound putbacks. It's the old-fashioned three-point play, and it puts your opponent on the bench in foul trouble. And rarely, I think I heard a coach speak, and he said if it's into the first quarter and we haven't shot free throws, then we're not going inside enough. And I think that's really true. Qualities needed to be a post player. I listed. Is that are those pictures in the way of the screen? Can you see?
I can see everything.
Okay. Physicality, I think, is probably the most important concept. Does this young man or young woman initiate or like contact? Height, length, strength, it's an advantage, but I don't think that's necessary to be a good post player. You got to be willing to rebound and run baseline to baseline. I tell the post players, guards run top of the key. Post player, you got to run baseline to baseline. They even take it out sometimes. You got to run baseline to baseline. So they really have to be better shape than the guards in many cases. They have to be willing to win that first 3-step transition rule. And you can sell it. You just say, you get down there before the other big guy, he's not going to run. You're going to get a layup. and it's amazing the motivation that it gives them. I joke a little bit. I say, you can always tell who the point guard is on a team when they come walking in with their bags and stuff. And my assistant said, "Well, how's that, coach?" I said, "Well, a point guard's not carrying his bag. The big guy behind him is carrying his duffel bag." And I tell our post guys, you got to take care of that guard. If there's ever a rumble, you find this in the summer leagues we played. If there's ever a rumble, get to the point guard and take care of him, and carry his duffel bag if you need to. Because if he won't pass to you, you're not going to get any. You're not going to be a player. The guy you need is that. Sometimes it's that football player, lineman, linebacker kid who's a go-to-war kind of player and has that personality. They can play in the post, regardless of the size. Sometimes some of my best post players have been guards. They figured out it's relative anyway, and so they like getting in there. Let's talk about something I kind of come up with or dreamed up. We call it the 5S posting technique. I'll demonstrate. I'll talk about these, and I got a couple guys to demonstrate. I have a grandson who's going to demonstrate for me. He's a sophomore in high school. The first move, and we'll demonstrate these, you split. You step into the man's stance with your legs, step all the way in, make contact with your hip if you can. Then you spin or pivot. That's another skill that we don't teach a whole lot, is pivoting. And you establish a bounce position in front of the defender. You sit on his thighs. Keep your elbows on hands free. You get in a sumo position. I was traveling in Japan. I happened to watch a sumo match. I was intrigued. These guys they're humongous people. They get down low, and the idea is to push the other guy out of the ring. And that's the concept. They get bounced. They're in power position, and that's what you need to do. Once you establish your position, control your opponent's top foot, and stay balanced, and you sumo him right on out of there if you can. Get him out of the lane with your sumo position, and then you got to show a target. So split, spin, sit, sumo, and show. We talk about show and tell. In grade school, we did that. We'd post up and we would show something and we tell about it. And that's the same with the players do. You show your numbers to the passer and then show and tell. And let's take a look. We'll demonstrate these. This is Kyle. He's a sophomore. He's going to split. He spins. He sits on my thighs, and he sumos until he's able to show and receive the ball. That's crossing the lane. This is the same thing. He's going to step in, split, spin, sit, control top foot, give a target, show and tell, and you're ready to play. It's amazing. I think you can almost catch the ball anytime you want to if the passer will wait for you just a little bit, and you can make it work. Had a very good player, Matt Abernathy, who was an All-American, and his point guard was Matt Moore, who happens to be the new coach of Warsaw. And if you just wait for Matt for the Moose, we called him, Abernathy, two counts, he could catch it every time. And the postman needs to take away the doubt of the passer. Show and tell. Take away the doubt that he knows that you want it. If you almost need to intimidate the passer to pass it. Bark at him if you need to. Be ready to give up the position to save the possession. That's the important concept. We talk about that. Be aware that passers get taken out of the game if they turn it over. So go get the ball at all costs. Develop future confidence in your teammates that if they pass it to you, it's not going to be a turnover. So give up the possession if necessary to control the pass. You got to show that target and then go get it. Here's a few ways that I think you need to teach these things, how you get open for your players. We're going to have them swim across, the rules talks about swimming. That's when you catch with the arm and pull your guy, but it's still a good technique. And get into the sumo position. We're going to pivot into position, and then we'll show you a couple others where we walk down or we basket cut, and the others to set a screen and slam and show the ball. So let's demonstrate these 4 different ways to catch the ball. The first one here is He's going to walk. He's going to swim, arm over the top. It's critical. Arm gets over the top, then sit and call for the ball. This is going to be a pivot move. It's the 5S. It's going to split the stance, then pivot, walks in, splits, pivots, sits, calls for the ball. This one, he's just going to pass and basket cut. It's kind of a slow basket cut, but he's going to go down the lane and then step, 5S, call for the ball. This one is down screen and then slam. Same concept in the center of the floor. Posting from the top down is a good place to do this. So let's see what this one looks like. He goes out, he sets the screen, then he splits, spins, sits, calls for the ball. When you're posting and if you're defended behind, these are 4 different ways that people defend you. Again, I think you need teacher players these if they're going to expect them to do it. When they're defended from behind, the defender's clearly behind you, and he doesn't want to make contact. Just start backing down until you feel contact. Get into him and keep contact. Get into him and sumo him. If he's side fronting you, you're defended. You 5S. You split, spin, sit, show your numbers to the passer. That's a critical thing. The passer needs to see your numbers. And sometimes guys post kind of side like there's this little window they're going to throw it in. Now you got to get wide, show him your numbers, and control that guy. If you're in a dead front or somebody playing totally behind in front of you, and we'll demonstrate this one as well. Here's we're going to borrow from my old track coaching days where when you teach the discus and the shot, you sweep step. When you'll say you sweep around in front of that guy and establish and then pivot. And we'll show how that works. So you end up in front of him. If you're dead fronted or total fronted, if there's no contact, be aware that something may be happening. They may be getting doubled down or trapped. So catch, face away, and turn and face and read the floor. Okay, let's look what they look like. This, he's backing up. So just back him down till you get where you want to get. A lot of defenders don't want the contact. They don't want to mess with you. So you have to initiate it. Here you're being side front. He's going to control the top foot, shows numbers, and then he finally calls for the ball where he wants it, a little show and tell. This one's where you're totally fronted. Now watch his right leg. He's going to sweep all the way around and establish a pivot. It's the same thing you do when you throw the disc. Bring that leg all the way around and pivot in front of him. Don't win with your hands, win with your feet and your legs. And here's where the defenders, you can't find him, you just turn face and then look what's happening. You may have a teammate basket cutting, or you can just shoot it if he's not going to do it, or you can penetrate if you want to at that point in time. The sweep step's a little different. A lot of players, when they first get fronted like that, they don't know what to do. And if you just go up, make contact, just make that big pivot, swing that leg all the way around the top of that guy, put it down in front of his top foot, and then spin and sit. You come out on top, and you'll win that battle every time. This is the sumo thing. We just talk about showing the target. There needs to be this expectation. If you don't show a target, don't expect a pass. No target, no pass. And then show and tell. Elbows wide, palms to the ball, and prevent that holding, or at least the appearance of holding. Officials will love to call that one. And we teach them your upper arm from the elbow to the shoulder is stronger than your lower arm anyway, and you're just going to get called. With your palms toward the target, toward the ball, I don't remember ever getting a foul called on a player if you're in that position. And that lets your teammate know that you're ready to catch it as well. Your knees are bent, you're in that balanced position, kind of move in a half moon, shuffle around in order to, but the key is you got to control the top foot of the man defending you. If you do that, I don't care who's got arm advantage. All you need to do is step and catch it. You really can't stop him if you have the foot position one. So again, catch with 2 hands, chin it, and talk about face away. That would be hold it up to your face, high, away from the defender. So your body is between you and the defender. We just call that face away. And then have court awareness. You got to be heads up and ready to pass. And you can do that. Now, once you get in position, this is a move we call a crab dribble. You're going to dribble sideways when you attack that man defense. He's defending you. You move sideways. I actually got a movie or a clip of crabs walking sideways on the beach. That's what you do. You crab dribble. Sideways, pivot, dribble, sideways, dribble. Keep your body between the ball and the defender until you get to where you want to be. And just go as low as you can if you want to. If that defender moves to stop you, he's guilty oftentimes of drawing a moving foul. Who initiates it? Sometimes he gets pretty crazy out there. So I think if you're in a crab position sideways, you're less likely to lose your balance than if you got your feet parallel. And I want to just reiterate, if you want to score, get into your man. If you want to defend, get away from your man. If offensive man gets you locked up, you're done. If he's a good offensive player, he's not going to let you get away. He's going to lock you up. So let's look what it looks like here. We're going to crab dribble a little bit. We swim in that case. He starts to dribble, cut him off. He pivots that during, then he turns back and you get as deep as you want to get eventually there. You just got to watch for somebody double down and double teaming you. Crab dribble. I really believe you really only need 3 moves. And we'll give you some suggestions. It's the player's preference. They all have a preference that they like. Their go-to moves. You got to be able to do them with confidence, without indecision. You don't want indecision. They want to know exactly what they're going to do here. And we talk about a turn down move, a turn up move, and a counter move. We'll show examples of each of these. You begin in your sumo position. First, you got to get open. Got to keep the ball chin level or face away. Attempt to catch the ball as deep as you can. So all you have to do is just turn and shoot it. And always post above the block rather than intentional. If you get too deep, when you catch, you take away the baseline turn option. So catch a little bit higher, it's probably better. Of course, in the center of the lane, just get as deep as you can, right almost under the basket. Let's take a look at some of these. The drop step, which is a turn down move. Notice the red on the rep. Turn down. Drop step is the only one that they're really going to go over. There's others you can shoot, power hooks, all kinds of things. But this is the simplest one for young players, and it's the best, really. There's no, if you turn down a baseline, there's nobody between you and the basket. There's no defense. Very difficult to defend there. You pivot till you make contact. That's important. You're working with your guys and you're demonstrating. When they drop that step and pivot, you pivot until you make hip contact with that defender. If you don't, he's got room to cut you off. If you pivot into him, he's behind you and he's cooked. You're going to power dribble if you need to. That's 2 hands between the legs. Just pound it down, catch it, and you're ready to go. You need to gather your feet. Shoulders are parallel to the backboard when you finish. Take it all the way to the glass if you can. If you can take it all the way and put it down, take it all the way and put it down. If you shot fake, if you need to shot fake, keep your legs, show the ball to your forehead. Don't fake yourself out. Keep your knees bent, your legs in a power position. Show the ball to your forehead. And if he leaves his feet, drive through him and put him on the bench. Punish him a little bit with the shoulder when you're going up to shoot if he's in the air. From your chin position or your sumo position, I like to refer to that again, realizing the sumo is when you're in balanced position and you can move your top foot. You're going to push him out of the way, just like the sumo guys push each other out of the circle. From that chin position, show the ball briefly over your opposite shoulder, and the defender reacts to the ball. I talk about show the rat the cheese. If you fake yourself out again, you don't really need to fake that much. Just take the ball. You've chinned it anyway. Show it above the opposite shoulder. The defender will react to the ball, guaranteed, or just programmed. You see the ball, even if they don't go, it freezes them for just a second, and you can drop or whatever you're going to do at that point, drop step, and he's gone. If they leave the feet, like I say, punish them, power up, and punish them. Let's take a look at it. In a sumo position, calling for the ball. Drop steps till it feels contacts, and then take it up. He probably should have kept his shoulders a little more parallel to the backboard if he'd gone a little further. Then we're going to drop step. I'm going to foul him hard. He's going to go up through and finish it anyway. And that's the old-fashioned three-point Post players ought to think every time I do that, I'm powering like I'm lifting weights and I'm powering to the basket. And if somebody hits my arm, you just take them with you. And I've found if you will extend and wait for the contact, then shoot it, your chances of making that are much better. And now the next time you go in and shot fake, he doesn't leave his feet, just shoot it. See, you make them schizophrenic. they're afraid they're going to foul you. You get a couple fouls and then you own them. So don't be afraid to initiate the contact. Okay, let's talk about a turn up. That was a turn down. Drops. This is a turn up move. I have two different options here. Power hook and sky hook. That's really the same. It's a hook shot. The other one is, we'll talk about that as well, because some guys can't shoot with both hands, so they're going to have another move that turn in the other direction. On the power hook, from the chin position, again, sumo, elbows wide, pivot, and jump off both feet. Fully extend your shooting arm. You really should work to be able to shoot that right or left to be really good at it. And most of the guys, if they'll work at it, they can get pretty good with either hand on that little power hook. Shoot with a normal follow through. When we teach the hook shot, a lot of kids think they just throw it. No, it's the same, palms up, palms down, finger follow through, just like you shoot every shot. You don't want to turn your body. You want to keep your body between the defender and the ball, so you've got that space, and your shoulder and your non-shooting arm then protects the ball, serves as a bumper to keep the defender away from the ball and your shooting arm. That's the power hook. The sky hook, similar arm action, follow through anyway is the same. Take a big wide step toward the opposite elbow. We'll demonstrate that one as well. High knee action, which kind of clears some space, and then again shoot palms up, palms down with the shot. That's the old Kareem move. And I was going to say earlier, Kareem, think about how many points Kareem would have scored if his teammates had not passed to him. See, he scored 38,000 points, got a few offensive rebound putbacks, but if they don't pass to him, Kareem is not the all-time leading scorer. And I think today, how many times do players score without even one pass? They don't pass. It's a lost start. All right. Power hook. Step with both feet from the shoulder up, body between the man and the ball. And this is the sky hook. He catches, he's going to step toward the opposite elbow and take it up and follow through. Actually, let's look at that one again. We kind of did it in a hurry a little bit. Let's see if we can back up and see that one again. Watch the movement of the feet. Jumps, makes a big pivot to the shoulder, extend, follow through. And this is the sky hook again. He's going to step toward the opposite elbow and then high knee action, follow through. Well, that was the first option of the turn up. This is another option, the turn up. Again, the jump shot's a good move. Probably ought to have both. From the sumo position, check your baseline shoulder. If the baseline's open, you should be making your drop step move. The power up is no help side there in all probability. And make a quarter turn. That's a little different. I borrowed that from another coach, Bob Macy, back in the day. Make a quarter turn, not a complete turn. You can see everything, and you still got the ball between. You still got your body between the defender and the ball, and you can see the court from that position. You're going to jump as high as you can. When you finish your turn in the air, it's not that difficult. Finish your turn in the air. Again, follow through, palms up, palms down. Good basketball follow through on shooting. This is interesting. I heard a coach speak about jump, look, shoot, and I thought, what's he talking about? And I realized that's really what you do. You jump, then you find your target. I mean, you know where it is. You're in the post, and then you shoot it. Jump, look, shoot. Play with it a little bit, coaches, and see what you think. And the quarter turn jump shot finish in the air is what most of the post players actually do. You attempt to finish closer to the basket, then you shoot. If necessary, you got to fall away, but you need to practice that. If you're going to shoot fall away jump shots, something you need to practice at. If you shot fake with the ball to your forehead, the defense reacts and attempt to make contact and then finish and shoot your, score and then get to the free throw line. We'll demonstrate this one. He spins, catches, turnaround jump shot in the lane. On this one, he's going to shot fake and then step through. Gets the defender moving at him. He's afraid to make contact, even though he might even jump a little bit. Then you just jump into him and finish at the basket. Again, if that defender's got a couple fouls on him already, he doesn't want anything to do with you. He's going to have to sit down, and so he's going to back away and give you space. Okay, this is a counter move. We talked about turn down, turn up, two different options on turn up, and this is the counter move. We're going to up fake and step through. And if the defender goes for the block, which is what the reason you're doing this, you turn up, you're going to shoot your turn up move. The defense leaves their feet or they hedge on you too hard on your hook or your jump shot, then you're going to step through and then power it up. Use a front pivot. So you step through, and if you're going to drive it, you're going to up fake, rip and drive. I know a lot of coaches teach rip to the hip and drive, and that's what I teach as well. Rip to the hip and drive from outside, but inside it's different. Post play is different. If I rip to my hip, that's where your help defenders are going to strip it, or the post player even strips you. We call it a low block around here. I get a low block, but if you rip it to the opposite shoulder, think about what that's going to do. Your shoulder, your elbow goes through, that defender's going to get his schnauz out of the way. He's going to back up a little bit. I might suggest you elbow him, but just take it over the top. He'll get out of your way, and then you drive and take it to the basket or shoot your pull-up jump shot. So up fake, step through, up step, up fake, rip and drive. Let's look at it. I think we'll look at it. Sorry about that. Okay, he's going to catch, pivots, up fakes, go for the fake, and then he can take it to the basket strong. This one, he's going to flash, catch. He's going to rip to the other shoulder. He didn't rip very good. He should have ripped a little more. But the concept is, rather than take it to the hip, take it to your shoulder. You can see the court. The defender's not going to get a low block or help strip you. So those are the two different things. You up fake and step through and shoot it. You can shoot a hook shot off that. There's some other things you can do as well. But again, I don't think you need 100 moves. You just need the ones you're really confident with. Now this talks about that last aspect that I think we don't teach very good. Probably the poorest thing we teach as coaches. And I've watched a lot of games, and this one just drives me insane when I watch. You got a kid that's standing outside the three-point line, free throw line extended, the ball above his head with two hands, and the post player is just working himself hard to get himself open, and the kid can't get him the ball because he's not doing some really important things here. It's difficult to pass to the post, I think, from the free throw line extended. That's the wing area. That's a hard place to pass from. The best passing angle is to dribble down or get the ball down below the free throw line. Postman holds, you throw it, he's got his drop step move. Most of most players will be fronting you at that point. If you hold him with your sumo, you got nobody between you and the basket. Lob side is good if you're going to lob. It's like pass plays in football. Both the quarterback and the receiver knows where the ball's going. There's a pattern that he's going to go to. And so I think if you're going to throw the lob, throw to the edge of the backboard. Passer has a visual target. The post player knows where the ball is going. And so you can converge when the ball gets there. There's less defensive help if you throw that from the middle of the floor too. If you make that lob from the top, there's not a lot of help side at that point. Here's your passer's rule. If the post player shows his jersey numbers, you can see both numbers, the ball must be passed. It's like a lot of things. If the post player works really hard, he gets open, and you don't pass it to him, the next time he's not going to be quite as eager to get posted up. And so it's important that you plan that. We talk about a 2 count. Give him a little bit of time to maneuver himself. If you can go hand-to-hand passing, that's the best. If you can pass from your right hand to his left hand, he's called for it. Vice versa, left hand pass to his right hand because he showed you a target. That's the best if you can do that. Always throw a bounce pass. This one really gets me. The pass from the wing, chest high pass, got to be perfect timing. The defender can easily step and knock that away. I've thought to myself, I could get off the bench and deflect that one because it's right to the guy's number. You're setting that post player up. If you feed him with a little bounce pass where he can step and get it, it'll go through every time. Another one that I think we often do, you're fortunate to play with a big kid, 6'10", 6'9", whatever he is, and they throw him a pass at his knees or they throw it waist high. Hey, throw it where he lives. He lives in the penthouse, then deliver the mail to the penthouse, and nobody's going to bother him. It's just the chest pass one just drives me nuts there. And it's there's very little margin of error, and it's just a setup for failure. So, well, we can't throw it in. We can't throw it in. Yes, you can. We've done some drills where they have to throw it in, and you know what? They can if they'll work at some of these techniques. Postman has got to be there, and the guard has to deliver the mail. And I'll show you how we do that here in just a second. Passer's got to be in that post-up position. Give him a couple of counts, 2 count to get open. It takes a little bit of time to pivot, sit, spin, all that. Passer should keep his defender busy, shot fakes, pass fake, dribble fake, something to occupy the defender until he's in a position. The post player is, by the way, and be able to catch it. So give him a 2 count. Passer should protect the ball and seal that defender. Read where that defender is. Close the space with a bounce to the post player, and it'll go through. Don't step away from the defender. Step into the defender to make the pass. We'll demonstrate that here in a second. Your good passers understand that. They get down low, throw the bounce pass, and it'll go through. If you need to, you might need to cross over. We're going to demonstrate the crossover here. Keep your body between the ball and the defender, and then you can make the pass, hand-to-hand passing. Passer must read the defense. In some cases, it's not a smart thing to do. The post player's got to trust his passer that he saw a double team coming, or the pass and go inside was a better action at that point, which is always good. Even if you pass in, the post player pivots, as we showed, he didn't feel contact, pass, skip it, and then post again, or your teammate might be able to basket cut on the other side. So pass and go inside is kind of or skip and go inside is kind of a rule that I think you need to have. All right, here's what it looks like. He dribbles down. I did close the gap. He steps, pivots, and is able to make the pass inside. If the defender stays back away from that